The director decided to make this film by flipping a coin. The most famous speech was fueled by something Murphy almost never touched. Every iconic moment was nearly something else entirely. These are 20 hidden details you completely missed in Beverly Hills Cop. Number 20, the way Axel Foley tucks his pistol into the back of his jeans without a holster feels like a character choice built for Eddie Murphy. It was not. Director Martin Brest copied the habit directly from real Detroit homicide inspector Gilbert Hill, who escorted the Paramount production team on location scouts, and did this habitually while on duty. Brest was so struck by the detail that he cast Hill on the spot as Inspector Todd with no formal audition. Hill then rewrote his own dialogue for authenticity. Watch Axel tuck that gun in his earliest Detroit scenes. The gesture you are seeing belongs to an actual working detective who appears later in the same film. The next hidden detail runs even deeper into that Detroit world. Number 19. The gritty Detroit opening gives the film its immediate sense of place and stakes. Almost none of it was filmed when it appears to have been. Director Martin Brest confirmed on his DVD commentary that the entire second unit Detroit sequence was captured over 5 days at the very end of production, in summer 1984, after the Beverly Hills shoot had already wrapped. The crew used an unmarked surveillance van with tinted windows to film pedestrians and street life without alerting anyone. Brest later returned individually to clear the people caught on camera. Look at the background pedestrians in the opening Detroit montage. They are not extras and had no idea a Paramount production was filming them. Axel's actual Detroit home is hiding an even bigger secret. Number 18. The alley sting, the apartment, and the surrounding streets all feel authentically Detroit throughout the film's opening. None of them are in Michigan. According to production location records, the alley sting was filmed at 1249 East Palmetto Street in downtown Los Angeles. Axel's apartment sits on Witmer Street in the Westlake neighborhood of LA. Budget and schedule constraints made a full Detroit shoot impossible. Only the vehicle chase and the opening street montage required actual Michigan locations. Look at the architecture and signage in the background during the alley sting sequence. The street grid and building style do not match Detroit's urban layout. Every interior and street scene sold as Detroit is a Los Angeles location dressed for another city. Beverly Hills had its own hidden geography problem. Number 17. The Beverly Hills police station, city streets, and formal interiors feel like they could only exist in one specific place. The city itself made that impossible after dark. Beverly Hills prohibited filming on public streets after 10:30 p.m., forcing Brest to relocate all evening exterior and city hall work to Pasadena. The Harrow Club, the exclusive members' venue central to the plot, is the Athenaeum at Caltech, located at 551 South Hill Avenue in Pasadena. Compare the architectural columns and proportions of the so-called Beverly Hills City Hall corridors to photographs of the real building. They do not match. The city the film is named after appears on screen far less than viewers assume. The hotel at the center of the story continued this pattern of substitution. Number 16. Axel's hotel and its lobby represent Beverly Hills' luxury and exclusivity throughout the film. The location is the Millennium Biltmore Hotel at 506 South Grand Avenue in downtown Los Angeles, miles from Beverly Hills. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer and Brest used the Biltmore's rendezvous court as the lobby. The suite Axel occupies was a real Biltmore room redressed for the shoot. Pause on the exterior shot when Axel first arrives at the hotel. The Grand Avenue building profile and surrounding architecture appear in the background frame. The luxury environment Axel navigates as a working-class outsider was itself a performance. Not a single scene was filmed inside actual Beverly Hills accommodation. The banana gag shot in that same lobby was also not the original plan. Number 15. The banana and tailpipe scene is one of the most remembered comedy sequences of the 1980s. The original script called for potatoes, not bananas. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed the production needed a hotel kitchen for the scripted potato gag. Time constraints made the kitchen unavailable. The lobby buffet was already lit from a previous setup, so the gag was rewritten to use whatever was on the table. Notice, in the buffet scene, that the fruit is placed prominently in the foreground of the shot. That is not deliberate visual design. It is a last-minute prop solution. One of the most quoted movie moments of 1984 exists because a kitchen was off-limits. The composer heard this scene and wrote something he called by a very different name. Number 14. The Axel F theme is one of the most recognized pieces of film music from the 1980s. Composer Harold Faltermeyer wrote it specifically to score the banana and tailpipe sequence and internally called it the banana theme, assigning the marimba sound to the bumbling police officers following Axel. Faltermeyer told Red Bull Music Academy in 2014 that he came close to being fired from the film because Paramount expected a traditional orchestral comedy score. His electronic approach using a Roland Jupiter 8 Moog modular synthesizer, Roland JX3P, Yamaha DX7, and Lindrum was considered too risky. Watch the banana scene specifically and listen for that marimba pulse. The sound representing Axel Foley's cool was composed to represent the inept cops following him. The film's most famous spoken moment was equally spontaneous. Number 13. The police station monologue where Axel claims to be a Rolling Stone reporter is one of Murphy's most celebrated performances. According to multiple accounts, including Brest's DVD commentary, Murphy was exhausted and drank coffee at the crew's suggestion despite normally avoiding caffeine. He then improvised the entire speech, including a fictional article about Michael Jackson. None of it was in the script. Watch John Ashton and Judge Reinhold in the background as the speech unfolds. Ashton is visibly pressing his face to control laughter. Reinhold reportedly kept his hand in his jacket pocket and pinched himself through the fabric to stay composed. Their struggle is a real-time record of a performance happening for the first time. The Serge scene was equally unplanned. Number 12. The gallery scene with Serge is scripted as a brief exchange with a generic American character. Bronson Pinchot chose a completely different direction on the day. He pitched the exaggerated mid-Mediterranean accent based on an Israeli makeup artist he had worked with previously, performing it without prior approval. Brest was so impressed he scaled back a second gallery attendance role to give Pinchot more screen time. Pinchot told interviewers he nearly walked off the project due to scheduling delays. Watch the second gallery worker in the early moments of that scene. The role contracts visibly as Pinchot's performance expands around it. This single improvised choice launched Pinchot directly into Perfect Strangers. The next on-screen partnership was born from an equally spontaneous audition. Number 11. Rosewood and Taggart feel like partners who have spent years together before the film begins. That chemistry was found before cameras rolled. Brest reportedly paired casting finalists for an exercise asking them to play a middle-aged married couple on an ordinary evening. Reinhold picked up a magazine, and the exchange that followed, including references to digestion and their shared domestic routine, ended up almost verbatim in the finished film. Brest committed to both actors immediately after the exercise. Watch the first scene where the two detectives bicker in the car during surveillance. That dynamic was first performed in an audition room. The argument audiences take for lived-in character work was an improvised casting exercise. A key villain's most chilling moment was also unscripted, and equally unrepeatable. Number 10. Victor Maitland pauses in the office confrontation with an expression that reads as genuinely unsettling. That pause was not in the script, and Maitland was not acting. Actor Steven Berkoff was reacting in real time to a Murphy improvisation that was later removed from the film. Brest kept Berkoff's unrehearsed reaction because the confused stillness made the villain feel more dangerous. According to Brest's commentary, Berkoff viewed his Hollywood villain work, including this film, primarily as a means to fund his stage career. Watch the specific moment Maitland goes still during the office scene. The beat of silence is a genuine response to words that no longer exist in the final cut. A mistake in a different scene was also deliberately preserved for a parallel reason. Number 9. Chief Hubbard refers to Detective Rosewood as Rosemont during one of the formal authority scenes. That sounds like a continuity slip. It was a real mistake by actor Stephen Elliott during rehearsals that the production team chose to keep. Brest confirmed on his commentary the decision was intentional. The error felt consistent with the Beverly Hills police establishment's dismissive attitude toward anyone they consider beneath their notice. Getting a junior detective's name slightly wrong was the kind of institutional carelessness Brest wanted on screen. Listen carefully during the chief's formal address. Rosemont appears once and is never corrected on screen. A detail that reads as an error is actually a deliberate character note about power and condescension. The director also hid himself somewhere on screen. Number 8. Brest's name appears only in the director credit. He is also on screen, uncredited, as the Beverly Palms Hotel checkout clerk in the bathrobe scene near the film's conclusion. Brest took the role because scheduling could not accommodate another actor for the brief appearance. Per the AFI catalog production notes, Brest discussed the cameo at a 1985 AFI seminar, framing it as a practical last-minute solution. Pause on the checkout desk during the final hotel departure sequence. The clerk processing Axel's checkout is the same person who directed every scene in the film. A director who said yes to the project on a coin flip placed himself inside the climax. Another hidden name embedded in the script points to a specific Paramount executive. Number 7. Paul Reiser's detective character is identified throughout simply as Jeffrey, a name that seems like a generic placeholder. It is a deliberate in-joke. Brest confirmed on his commentary that the character was named specifically after Jeffrey Katzenberg, then president of production at Paramount Pictures. The tribute was embedded quietly with no public announcement. Every time Axel or another character addresses Reiser's character by name, the word is a private acknowledgement of a studio executive who never appears on screen. This kind of embedded tribute was invisible to every audience member who saw the film in 1984, and it has gone unnoticed in every viewing since. The character at the center of the entire film almost belonged to a completely different actor. Number 6. Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley feels like the only possible version of this character. Stallone signed on, renamed the lead Axel Cobretti, and rewrote the script so extensively that he later described the result as a war film, with a Lamborghini playing chicken against a freight train in the finale. Paramount rejected the version as too expensive. Stallone kept his pages and blended them with another source to create Cobra, released in 1986. The lead character in that film is still named Marion Cobretti. Watch Cobra alongside Beverly Hills Cop, and the structural DNA is visible in the action-heavy finale and the lone hero structure. Screenwriter Daniel Petrie Jr. confirmed this history in his 2012 Money into Light interview. The director almost did not take the job at all. Number 5. The confident, improvisational energy of Beverly Hills Cop suggests a director fully in command from the first day. Brest nearly never took the job. After being fired from War Games during pre-production, he kept declining calls from producer Jerry Bruckheimer. He finally told Bruckheimer he would flip a coin and accept whatever result came up. It landed heads. Brest committed to the project with Stallone still attached before Eddie Murphy was even part of the conversation. Brest discussed this decision in a 2023 Variety interview. Watch the finished film knowing that every improvised performance and deliberately kept mistake reflects choices made by a director who agreed to be there by chance. Murphy himself came aboard much later than most viewers assume. Number 4. Mickey Rourke was the first actor signed to the project. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed he hired Rourke after seeing a magazine photograph, giving him a $400,000 holding contract. Production delays stretched on for months. Rourke eventually departed to make The Pope of Greenwich Village, and the contract expired. The version he would have made was still a straight action thriller. There was no improvisation structure, no comedy tone, and no surge scene in that draft. According to Bruckheimer's account documented in Powerhouse, the gap Rourke left opened the door for Murphy to redefine the entire film's genre. Every laugh in the finished movie is a direct consequence of Rourke walking away. The character's name itself carries a longer creative history. Number 3. Axel Foley feels like a single invention inseparable from Murphy's performance. The name is a compound built across multiple drafts by different writers. Screenwriter Danilo Bach pitched a 1981 draft featuring a Pittsburgh cop named Ellie Axel. Writer Daniel Petrie Jr., who received the screenplay credit, reversed and refined the name into Axel Foley while restructuring the project. As a comedy, Petrie described his process in a 2012 Money into Light interview, noting he was writing from his experience keeping a cheap office at Little Santa Monica and Rodeo Drive, observing the cultural contrast on the page. Every time Axel Foley is spoken on screen, the name carries the work of 2 writers across a 3-year development chain. The film's commercial legacy is even more extraordinary. Number 2. Beverly Hills Cop plays like an accessible, breezy crowd pleaser. Commercially, it was a landmark that reshaped how studios distributed films. The picture became the highest-grossing release in the United States in 1984, earning $234 million domestically. It held the all-time domestic record for R-rated films for nearly 20 years, until The Matrix Reloaded in 2003. It was also the first US theatrical release to expand to more than 2,000 screens simultaneously, opening on 1,450 and reaching 2,006 theaters by December 21, 1984, according to Daily Variety. Nothing visible in the film signals that it was simultaneously breaking distribution records. A comedy built on improvisation and late-night rewrites became the structural template for wide-release blockbuster strategy. 40 years later, the recognition became permanent. Number 1. Beverly Hills Cop sits easily in cultural memory as entertainment. It is now formally preserved as American history. In December 2024, on the film's 40th anniversary, the Library of Congress inducted Beverly Hills Cop into the National Film Registry, making it the first Eddie Murphy film ever selected for preservation. The announcement came 3 months after the death of John Ashton, who played Taggart. The National Film Registry requires films to be culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Watch any scene with Ashton now. Every moment of Taggart's weary patience is part of a film the Library of Congress has ruled worth keeping forever. A coin flip, a real detective's habit, an improvised accent, and a last-minute prop produced one of the most significant American comedies ever made. Beverly Hills Cop was built on a coin flip, a real detective's gun habit, and performances nobody had rehearsed. Every scene you remember is the result of a last-minute decision made under pressure. Go back and watch it knowing all of that now. Which hidden detail surprised you most? And what film should we open next?